Well, look.
Just stop.
Can I say one?
Don't. No, you can't. Not after you say that. Leave.
And now, one final story I want to touch on and talk about today is Tucker Carlson, the MAGA leader and conservative commentator, longtime Fox News host, now gone independent. He recently spoke at a Turning Point USA event, and it didn't go well. It didn't go super well when he did the Q&A with more, I think, liberal students who wanted to push back on his ideas, including this one where he kind of crashed out. And I want to show it to you and then give you my thoughts. Let's take a look.
I don't understand it because it makes no sense. Like, you're worth $50 million.
I'm not worth $50 million.
30 to 50.
Get off the internet, son. Don't stop believing that stuff.
Oh.
$50 million?
Go back to cable news.
Sorry.
No, but I'm just, look.
Okay, you're too annoying. So I like the last chick who disagreed with me, and then we could have a normal conversation.
All right.
But you're telling me you're worth $50 million. What? Stop.
Okay, you got real defensive there. I just read a number that's a lot of money. Jesus Christ, calm down.
Don't use that phrase.
You're worth.
We're done.
Well, look.
Just stop.
Can I say one?
No, you can't. Not after you say that. Leave.
All right.
So there are many layers to this clip, but one, I think it's odd that Tucker was so bothered by this guy bringing up the fact that he's worth a lot of money and throwing out 50 or 30 million. He's like, that's insane. Stop reading everything that you believing everything you read on the internet. I don't know what Tucker's net worth is. Maybe it's not that high as $50 million, but we should not pretend that that's an outrageous thing to suggest or suspect. There is reporting that suggests his annual salary at Fox was anywhere from $6 million to $10 million to $20 million. Plus, you add that his best-selling books, you add his inheritance, you add his selling off his shares of the Daily Caller for millions of dollars. There is every reason to believe that he's actually extraordinarily wealthy and that his net worth could easily be $30 or $50 million. And if it's not, okay, I don't really care. I'm not sure why this person brought that up, but I rolled my eyes very hard at him pearl clutching over that. That's an outrage to suggest. It's not. Stop cosplaying middle class. You're extremely wealthy. You're a member of the aristocracy, right? He had an elite Washington family that he came from. He was sent to elite boarding schools and all this, and that's fine. I have nothing against that. But don't deny that you're very wealthy. I don't like that. There's no reason to deny that. The second part of this, listen, if you are going to crash out and demand and end a conversation with somebody because they say, oh, Jesus Christ, you might not like that. And you could say, hey, when we're talking, could you not take the Lord's name in vain? If you're truly so upset by that. But that is a very normal thing that people say all across this country every day. And to act like it's just outrageous beyond uttering is silly and absurd. And it makes you look like an utter snowflake, especially because if that's very offensive to your religion, that's fine. But you don't have the right to impose that. And you actively support a president who says exponentially more offensive things like that all the time. It's very weird to be we're the tough alpha males. We're sick of the woke stuff, but how dare you say that? And then to end the conversation over that and kick the disagreeer out just because of that. If you really were bothered by it, you could say, hey, just when we're talking, could you please not say that? I don't like it. Could we have a productive conversation? And I think anybody engaging in good faith would say, okay, sure, I'm happy to do that. I'll accommodate that. But to act like that is some heinous utterance that he must be shunned from the stadium is just so ridiculous. And the other thing, the thought that I kept having watching that clip is this is part of a Turning Point USA tour. And I can't imagine Charlie Kirk doing that. Whatever you thought of him, whether you loved him or you hated him, he would go and debate students and they would say wild stuff. And he would usually take the high road and he would keep it moving. And he definitely would not lose it over those couple of things that were said there. And he definitely would not boot a student out for saying, Jesus Christ, when Tucker's like freaking out at him over something that's not even unreasonable in terms of the net worth evaluation. So I just thought it was very lame, and that maybe this is just not Tucker's thing. The in-person debates with the college students, the campus shtick, because if you can't handle that level of scrutiny without losing your cool like this, that's not a great look. And there was another moment where Tucker sort of lost his cool, although I think critics may be going a little overboard with this one. Let's take a look at this other clip.
So I kind of just don't see a lot of change between, the Biden administration and now the Trump one in foreign policy. We're still giving a shit ton of money to like Israel and Ukraine. Nothing is happening. The war's not stopped. He promised it'd be done in a day, and it's, I don't know, how many months? 8 months or something like that. It's a long time. Your dad was in the CIA, and I was wondering, does our government even want war to stop? Do they want conflicts to end? It seems like we have a difference of interests where we're getting told one thing and the other is happening, and I feel like there's not enough communication between different sects of government, and I really think the deep state's controlling everything, and we have no control.
Well, let me start at, obviously, you probably sense that I agree with a lot of that. Obviously, leave my father out of it. I'm going to have to kick your ass, which I could do, by the way, if you bring him up again, because he was a wonderful man, whatever, he did for a living. So I really do hate that.
So on this one, I'm going to defend Tucker a little bit. A lot of people who are Tucker critics were sharing this and saying, unhinged Tucker Carlson threatens to fight student who mentions his father. I did not get that read. This very much read as a joke to me, not serious at all. So I'm not going to say like, oh, he's unhinged, oh, he threatened to fight a college student, anything like that. And I actually agree, like, leave his father out of it. First off, his father didn't actually work for the CIA. That is not a true statement. Now, he worked for Voice of America, and there's some suggestion that he collaborated with the CIA in different ways, but he did not work for the CIA. And regardless, like, just bring up your question, talk about foreign policy with Tucker, get his perspective on all of it, but don't bring up his family. I actually agree that that's gross. I would not respond in this way where you're saying like, I could take you, blah, blah, blah. But that read to me as like a joke that like older guys will say, not a literal threat or not Tucker crashing out or anything like that. That didn't read that way to me. And I think people who are criticizing him in that manner may just be letting their frustrations with Tucker or the animus they have towards him these days. And I'm no fan by any means, but they may be kind of blinded by that bias and then reading into this what they want to see. They want to see Tucker unhinged. And frankly, I think in the first clip, he lost his cool a lot more and really did seem to be not quite in full composure of himself or behaving reasonably. But in the second clip, I think maybe critics are seeing that because they want to see it when actually he was just joking. That's my take on it, at least. I don't know. You guys let me know. Tucker fans, Tucker haters in the audience, I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments what you think. Make sure you like, subscribe, yada, yada, yeah. And that'll be it for today's episode of the Brad versus Everyone podcast. Thanks so much for listening. Do rate and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen on audio podcasts. Even if you're on the YouTube side, you can go spam the reviews over there anyway to help us reach more people. Remember to send in your voicemails for our Voicemail Friday episodes. And with that, guys, we'll talk again real soon.